Alright, welcome back to the Project Celeste Community Challenge. We've got a nice Persia versus Persia game underway here with Smiga in the red trunks as Persia. Tempires in the yellow trunks as Persia. We're here on Lowland Groves. So it's not a huge map, but there is all this wood in the way. Sometimes made all these little chokes, all these little passages you got to try and defend around the map. Resources are a bit spread out, particularly hunts and golds, so it does force you to have to play quite expansively. Even though, you know, you're sheltered in a lot of directions, but your opponent can typically raid quite well still. So our players both going for barracks. Smiga slightly faster on his than Tempires. Slightly quicker on the first. Villager and Spire. Tempires just a little bit slow on the Vil production there. So just some tiny macro gaps there from Tempires. Both our players probably going to want to build up a critical mass of Spire before actually pushing here. Smiga will have a slight advantage going into the first fight here. He's up nearly 2 whole villages already, and there's been no actual fighting, and he is up a Spire. So Tempires will be playing a bit more defensively here. Still needs to get the wood for a first house. Smiga also just about to get his first house, obviously slightly up on the population there. Tempires is going to want to actually pull the goats back here. So it's only up to the 4 Spire now. Smiga's already up to 5, so I think he's anticipating getting pushed first, though. Both our players sitting back passively at this point. So I wonder if we're going to see a big age 2 from both our players, or if one of them or both of them are going to try and go for a fairly quick age 3 for Immortals. Because you do have the option of pushing hard in age 2. So 5 versus 6 here. Smiga's going to get a couple of defenders as well, which is a good idea. Also doing a bit of herd gathering there. Tempires hasn't started gathering from his. So 5 Spire on their way into Smiga's base. Well, Tempire's going to have to contend with these 6. Smiga aging up here. Does have a 2 villager lead through all this. Nice control there from Smiga. Knows he hasn't got the numbers, so just going to rely on Tempires having to take down that storehouse inside town centre range. Tempires well aware that if he just pulls back, he won't have to worry about the TC. So Smiga actually going to camp the... oh, there's not really a second hunt there for him to camp, is there? So Tempires actually moving over the far side there. Pulling everything back at the moment. Smiga going to try and get a villager here, or at least force a lot of lost gather time. Because every second these guys aren't gathering, that's basically 9 resources. So Smiga's going to see Tempires has cleared his first hunt. Tempires already on the second hunt. Probably could do it with aging up here. He's got the resources in the bank to do so. Smiga just getting conditioning for the moment, lets him spam those infantry a little bit faster, makes them a little bit faster as well. Tempires bringing everything back. Smiga having taken out a storehouse so far, but that's really been it. And now, these guys are outnumbered here, because Tempires does have 9 Sparrow in total. So he might be able to get a kill here. Deal quite a fair bit of damage. Smiga bringing the rest of his Sparrow across. Tempires actually are up on population. Smiga not actually training any vills at the moment. There we go. Tempires, this is a bit rough. He's just move commanded here. He hasn't actually attack commanded. He's going to take a little bit of extra damage at the start of the fight here. It's 8 versus 6. So Smiga's having to back off here. Tempires has also got a scout there, so it's a little bit more damage and health in the mix. Tempires does. Well, he has aged up, but he has a huge amount of food in the bank. Probably needs to start gathering a bit of gold now so he can keep up the Sparrow production. Smiga on 2 town centers at the moment, so that's going to put him ahead on villages once he can get consistent production. Just struggling for food a little bit here. In fact, I think he probably, because it's berries, probably needs 1 or 2 more villages on it. So, a bit rough for our players. Not perfect eco here. Tempires. That's the stone he needs. He needs to get a bit more wood though. I'm worried he's building 1 too many houses at the moment. If you can just tunnel vision that TC, we can stay on even footing here. Smiga's still struggling with double Vil production, so his eco's really ground to a halt here. What's he... I don't know what he's actually doing here. Oh, he's going to switch to the hunt. But doing so at the moment, like, this has really crunched his eco. He's switching to 2 hunt, that'll be good, but at the same time, at the moment, he's not training anything. These guys to the food, but he's going to have to move them back to the gold shortly anyway. I suppose at least this means he can get that production going ASAP. Tempires as well, struggling for production, but he's got so much food in the bank. Smiga transitioning to Bowman, which will be really useful. So quick to train, and they're not going to eat up all your food. Some good damage done. Tempires having a retreat at the moment. Smiga's on a couple of hunts. Tempires, at the moment, is just on berries, adding a range of his own. He's finished off the 2 hunts. Oh, he's on this hunt over here. A bit risky, but when his opponent scouts it, that's all his. Why player got aid cents? Oh yeah, Smiga and Tempires both have aid cent. So 29 to 33 is the Vil count. So the army gap doesn't look as bad as it seems. Smiga. Tempires adding another range, but Smiga looking to engage. That TC is going to finish up just in time though, so going to have to back off, because particularly once the TC starts focusing down the bowman, it's going to be a lot of damage. Smiga's scout falling there, and it doesn't actually really tell him much. You could already see what was going up there from the army. Tempire's getting both food techs now. Smiga having gotten all of his H2 techs except for his farm and stone tech, which is pretty normal about this time, and that's what Tempires is aiming to be at as well. A bit slower on the food techs. Smiga's still getting pickaxe or the gold tech. Really, really handy stuff. Smiga's really started to boom up in terms of army size though. Tempires double range, and he switched to spearman production as well. Tempires single range, but he's also going to be adding a second range, and he does have that stables. We'll make sure he doesn't actually lose the Asabara quickly here because they're going to be a great source of damage against those bowmen. This is rough for Tempires. He's going to take a bit of damage here trying to disengage. He's already got a slightly smaller army, hence him disengaging to start with. Smiga not overextending there, just gets a couple of bowmen and backs out. Armory on the way from Tempires. Smiga no stone gathering yet, and I can't see him starting the armory. Hunt scattered a little bit now. So 49 to 42, big population lead as well overall for Smiga here. Tempires. Well, his hunt's about to get found out, but he's nearly finished there anyway. Smiga heading over to this storehouse, but should know that Tempires is probably finished by now. And Tempires is going to eventually need to head back. But this will be nice for Smiga. He'll catch these villagers out. There's not a lot Tempires can actually do about it. And try and hide them as best he can. Actually, this might work for him. It does work. Or maybe not quite. Smiga's figured out what's going on. Or has he? No, he hasn't. He wasn't paying attention, so he didn't even realise. So Tempires has saved all the villagers. What the hell, man? Tempires trying to push out because he knows the Asabara aren't there either. I was going to say the Saris. Tempires is going to want to get these guys back to work too if he can. Maybe he's best off just going here. He's going to bring them back. Well, Smiga's probably going to bring the Asabara in with the army. Tempire is starting on armory, which is nice. Shield Rim or Temper, either of those first is probably a good idea in this situation. Or say, in Smiga's case where he's got more bowmen, getting, what do you call it? Oh yeah, range damage, which actually Tempires has already got. So Tempires already on armory, a little bit earlier than Smiga here. He'll be looking to start it shortly. He's getting another barracks. Oh yeah, he's at the armory, gathering some stone. So Smiga trying to force an engagement, and also try and hit the gold mine there as well. Much bigger army than Tempires at the moment. He's macroed a little bit more smoothly here. Not actually producing anything at the moment, but Tempires needs to keep the bowmen still to get some damage done, but at the same time needs some spears to actually protect them from the Asabara there. The backline for Smiga really putting in the work, even without the damage upgrade there. So maybe Tempires slightly too quick on the armory, or maybe Smiga just pushing it at a real opportune moment there. Everything forward, hoping to try and get some more damage on the back line and on the villagers here. Tempires eager to hold on, but he's struggling to get the gold he needs. Well, not really. He's just getting just enough, but doesn't have enough units to help him defend here. Being pushed off that gold mine's going to hurt. He can't actually keep training now. He's going to have to move over here. Well, Smiga's trying to push, but as good as the massive bowmen are at picking things off, they don't actually take down buildings terribly quickly, so eventually this army is going to get worn down a bit, but Smiga is just parade pushing everything in here. He's got 19 food gatherers and still spending everything he's earning here. Getting his upgrades here, and Tempires actually having to tap out. There's the GG. The Tempires just a little bit off on the villager production early there. Otherwise, a solid game. For a little bit there, it actually looked like Tempires was actually starting to pull ahead on military. And pop. Anyway guys, GG.